Today, I want to talk about something I have been calling session games. These are the kind of games you can just hop in, have a great time, no big commitment, no big story. You don't necessarily need a ton of time to get up to speed on the controls. They're simple to pick up, they're instantly rewarding, and the biggest thing here, it's the type of game you could play for 20-30 minutes a day, every day, for the rest of your life, and still have a great time. I love big narrative games. I occasionally like multiplayer games. It just depends. These days, I'm not as much into it, but these session games are a little bit different than that. They don't really demand hours of your time to give you that satisfaction. You could hop in, do a race in Gran Turismo, complete a few, sessions in Tony Hawk Pro Skater, maybe finish a few puzzles in Lumines. These kind of games just give you that fun. Don't require a ton from you. Doesn't mean they don't have depth, but they've been some of my favorite things in gaming recently. So let's hop in and talk about a few, and I encourage you to share with me down below what are your favorite session style games. Now, Gran Turismo 4 and Gran Turismo 7. These are the catalyst for this video. I grew up with Gran Turismo, started on GT3, played a lot of Gran Turismo 4 and 5, and I got Gran Turismo 7 a few years ago. Now, I love this series. It's so much fun. If you like racing games or if you've never tried, these are fantastic titles. You can hop in, race a few laps, maybe buy a car, tune it. Even if you only have 10 or 15 minutes, you're good. Each session gives you that joy. Maybe you shaved a few fractions of a second off of your lap time. Maybe you got better at a cornering technique, or maybe you just appreciated the detail of the cars, the tracks. Gran Turismo games have this zen quality to them that is so unique. The music, the atmosphere, everything is just the best. Gran Turismo 4 has the Spec 2 mod where you can go and experience this really old game on the PlayStation 2, but now with HD textures and mods and tons of improvements. It is, to this day, I think the best racing game ever made. Gran Turismo 7 has limitless amounts of things that you can do, and again, it only takes 10 or 15 minutes. I played this series my entire life on controller. Last year, I saved up and finally bought an inexpensive Logitech wheel, and that changed the entire experience. It's a ton of fun, it's more immersive, but I will say, the game is awesome on a pad. So if you have like a PS4 or a PS5, I can't recommend it enough. Ton of fun. Switching gears a little bit, we have the Skate series. Particularly for me, Skate 2. I know a lot of people love Skate 3. In fact, I think these are on Game Pass Ultimate if you're on the Xbox side. These games are session game gold. Just cruising around, pulling off a few tricks, experimenting and being creative. The realistic physics and open world approach encourage creativity, and there's nothing more chill than spending a casual session just exploring different spots, landing some satisfying lines, maybe watching a horrible crash. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or a few hours, Skate always delivers. I remember playing Skate 2 with a buddy. We'd go to the mega ramp and we'd just take turns, and it's so much fun. It is so good. Can't recommend it enough. SSX, this series, it's been one of my go-to games. It's a snowboard racing game series from the PlayStation 2 era, and they're just fun. Something magical about dropping down a mountain, doing crazy tricks, chaining combos, chasing high scores. It is arcade joy, and it doesn't matter if you've played it for years or just picked it up for the first time. Every session feels really rewarding and exhilarating, whether you're aiming to set a new PR or unlock new stuff or whatever. It's just endlessly replayable. Now, I'm breaking the rules a little bit here because Street Fighter is not a super easy game for everybody to pick up, but I got into Street Fighter with Third Strike when the PS3 version came out, and then I got sucked into that universe and played Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Street Fighter 5, and now here we are in Street Fighter 6. And even though I've been on a pretty big break from Street Fighter 6, it's timeless. It does have a learning curve. It's tough. It is not super easy to start. But once you have your sort of fighting game legs under you, the basics, it really is something you can hop in, spend 10, 15 minutes on, and get a really good time out of it. It could be also a horrible time. So I will say that if you're going in purely for ranked multiplayer, just recognize getting bodied is not super duper fun, but it just depends on the way you play, right? If you're practicing combo timings or trying a new character or beating the arcade mode for the 100th time, there's always something new to learn. Every quick match can feel rewarding, and it is a universe, like the kind of game that I think about. I could play Street Fighter every day for the rest of my life and be happy. And they've done a great job in Street Fighter 6, the modern control scheme. They've really tried to make it as accessible as possible. But trust me, if you want to stick with it, learn the real deal control scheme. Oh, speaking of SSX, I forgot to mention this. Thinking of the PS2 era in general, games like Burnout 3 and Downhill Domination, these kind of games were awesome. Burnout's Crash Mode, the ultimate quick fix of pick up and play experience where every session gave you explosive fun and instant gratification, just caused carnage. Downhill Domination is basically SSX, but with mountain bikes and a different physics system and really satisfying crashes. You can throw water bottles at the opponents. It's a ton of fun. More racing games, Fast RMX. We talk about this all the time. It's exclusive to Nintendo Switch, but it's sweet. Wipeout Omega Collection. It's on PlayStation 4. Super fun, high-paced, stylish, visually stunning racers that always satisfy, especially if you have like 10 minutes. Just boot it up, do a race or two, and you're good. Puzzle games are a great example of some session titles. Lumines. I never tried Lumines when I was younger. I had a PSP, and only recently have I gotten to try the game once again, and I'm really bad at it, but it's super interesting, right? If you like Tetris, but also the blend of music along with like a creative take on this kind of puzzle gameplay, it's downright hypnotic. It's super cool. You can lose yourself for an hour or just play 5 minutes before bed. It's satisfying, it's addictive, and it's really fun, and it just doesn't ask too much from you. I think that's the cool thing about session games in general. Everybody is going to have their own lineup. I'm sure in the comments there'll be a lot of talk about live service multiplayer games or maybe chill or cozy games like a Stardew Valley or something. I don't think it really matters. As long as you have fun, it's easy to jump into. And that term, I think if it's consistently fun and rewarding, then it qualifies. What makes these games special, it's not the mechanics, the visuals, it is that feeling, knowing, right, exactly what you're going to get. It's the comfort show or the favorite music playlist. It's always there, and you could just experience it forever. No pressure to complete a story, no commitment to leveling up, just pure fun. And that reminds me why we gamed in the first place. Because it's fun, because it's a great little escape. It's a fun reminder. So I'd love to hear from you. What are your go-to session games? Drop your favorites down below. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone has a great day. And I will see you again later this week.